So, as you guys know, in Ahsoka episode 5, we saw a lot of crazy things, amazing things. But I think that my favorite and the most standout moment to me was finally seeing what a full potential prime Darth Vader would have looked like. In the Siege of Mandalore flashback, Anakin transforms into Vader with Sith eyes and the Skywalker lightsaber with a red blade. And then he attacks Ahsoka as Darth Vader, but this isn't the Darth Vader that we know. This is peak Darth Vader if he never burned on Mustafar. And I just wanted to talk about this because it's such a big topic whenever anyone talks about Anakin's power levels or how powerful he was. If you guys are subscribed to me on my channel, then you know that I'm always doing polls about which version of Anakin was more powerful: Jedi, Nightfall Vader, Vader during the reign of the Empire in his armor. So seeing a full potential Vader, like in his prime, never burned, without the armor, was really cool in the episode to me, and he was just straight up terrifying. And thinking about what Vader would have become if he didn't burn on Mustafar is honestly really fascinating. So let's say this is the version of Vader that we would have gotten if he beat Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Obi-Wan basically is the reason that we never saw this version of Vader, or the galaxy never saw this version of Vader. This is the Vader that Palpatine wanted as his apprentice. And it's honestly crazy to think about. I've made videos, I made one recently about how powerful Anakin was on Mustafar, because a lot of people seem to think that Nightfall Vader, which is like what he's called when he attacks the Jedi Temple, because that's Operation Nightfall, and then when he fights Obi-Wan on Mustafar, that's Nightfall Vader. He's Darth Vader, but before he's in the suit of armor as the iconic Vader that we know. Most people seem to think that he was at his most powerful as Nightfall Vader at the end of Revenge of the Sith, before he goes in the armor. It's kind of up for debate. Vader's power levels are sort of differently represented, obviously, between canon and legends, but just in general with the newer material, his power has changed. So originally, after Mustafar, he's said to be a lot weaker in the Force in Legends and the Revenge of the Sith novelization, which is technically like loosely canonical. And George Lucas's original idea for that was because Anakin lost limbs and he was burned and so injured, he had so little of his physical form left that his connection to the Force was weakened and he lost a lot of his potential. The quote from George Lucas that's in a Rolling Stone article talking about Revenge of the Sith is that originally Darth Vader, Anakin, had the potential to become twice as powerful as Palpatine, as Darth Sidious. So after Mustafar, he really only came down to about 80% of Palpatine's power. That's George Lucas's words. I'll link the article in the description. The Vader that we saw in that Ahsoka scene was prime, full potential Vader, twice as powerful as Palpatine. It's really a glimpse of what that Vader would have been like, because, you know, this is the world between worlds. It's just like a manifestation. But think about that. That full potential Vader would be twice as powerful as Palpatine. And not only that, we don't only have that quote from George, but we know from the Clone Wars and the Mortis arc that as the chosen one of the Force, if Anakin reached his full power, like prime and peak full potential in the Force, he essentially would have been of the same power as the Mortis gods. So he would have become like a godlike being. There's no way to really know if his potential for that would have changed if he fell to the dark side. I don't think so, because the sun is there. He's the personification of the dark side. Although the chosen one is supposed to bring balance. So perhaps if he remained a Jedi, he would have become like the Mortis gods. But as a Sith Lord, he's still incredibly powerful, but maybe he wouldn't become a godlike being in the Force. But what I was saying before about the Nightfall Vader is people typically think that that is when he was at his most powerful. But I've done a lot of research with the different Legends books, and I made a video about how powerful Anakin was on Mustafar. And basically, the way that it worked is that once he fell to the dark side, his lightsaber combat, like, increased exponentially because he used Gem So, which is very physical and aggressive, using brute strength. And once he fell to the dark side, he just became like completely brutal, using Gem So like relentlessly, not restrained at all. But his mind was clouded because the dark side is corruptive. It corrupts the mind. So that's why he wasn't thinking clearly. He was power hungry, he was arrogant, and that's why he lost to Obi-Wan, because he tried to jump over him because he thought that he was all powerful. He was very arrogant. But let's look at this and say, what if he did beat Obi-Wan on Mustafar? And then he goes on to become a full Sith Lord. You know, Anakin was Darth Vader for one day before he got put into the armor, and then he lost his potential in the Force. So what we saw in Ahsoka would be if he kept going, became a full-powered Sith Lord, bled his kyber crystal in the Skywalker saber. I honestly thought that it was amazing to see Anakin's lightsaber, the Skywalker saber, with a red blade. Because if he beat Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan doesn't take the saber, Anakin takes it and then bleeds it, and the blade, the kyber crystal turns red. And I think that's just awesome. That's an awesome thing to visualize. Instead of him having his, you know, Vader saber, it would be the Skywalker saber, and that was awesome. So he would have bled the crystal and then gone, and assuming he reached his full power, you know, in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, it explains how Anakin is already thinking about killing Palpatine. When he's on Mustafar after he kills the Separatists, he just thinks about how he's going to kill Palpatine so soon. And Palpatine warns him that he's in danger. He senses a disturbance in the Force. And Anakin is like, whatever, like, I'm the danger. I'm gonna kill you soon, in his mind. So, full potential Vader like that, if he survived Mustafar, he would have bled his crystal right away, and then gone and probably just killed Palpatine, like in the alternate ending to the Revenge of the Sith game, where he beats Obi-Wan and then he kills Palpatine, and then he becomes like the Emperor, Sith Emperor. Full potential Darth Vader is just like an insane concept to think about. I mean, that's like up there with like, the best way I can describe it is like Legends Luke feats. Like, we might even be seeing, the crazy part is that Anakin maintained his consciousness within the Force. So this wasn't his Force ghost, like the traditional form concept that we're used to seeing, but it was still his consciousness because he had all of the memories of Vader. He was talking from like an omnipotent perspective, looking back at the past. Although he was acting like weird and like more ambiguous and stuff, the Anakin that appeared to Ahsoka, that manifested to her, that was personified as both Jedi Anakin and Darth Vader, that could be full potential Anakin, like chosen one in the Force, full consciousness. He's just like all powerful. He can appear whatever, because Anakin's not a normal Force user. He is the chosen one. He was conceived by the midichlorians to become the savior of the Force and balance the Force, and essentially like the Mortis gods, like I said before. So while we got a glimpse of what full potential Vader would have looked like in life, just the entire aspect of Anakin in episodes 4 and 5, that could already be full potential Anakin. I don't know if they're going to explain any of that, like if it was really his consciousness or whatever. I mean, it was, because he had the memories of Vader and stuff, but that already in itself could have been full potential Anakin. So I just wanted to go on like a little rant about how like we saw what full potential Vader would have been like, because everyone's always talking about how we never saw Anakin at his full potential. He never reached his potential before Mustafar. And it was just amazing to see. I'm super hyped up about the episode and everything. Let me know your guys' theories, thoughts, whatever you thought about the episode. How did you feel about seeing Darth Vader without the armor, like peak prime Darth Vader? I'd love to know how excited you guys all are. I saw it in the theater at the fan event, so I'm still like over the moon excited about it. But thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you.